In the studio, I've got my special guest. She is absolutely gorgeous. If I say that I love her, I think it would be too much. I don't want to scare her off, but I love this girl. She is in the studio right about now, and I just want to welcome her. A nice spice welcome. It is Karun.
Hey, hey,
Hey, hey, hey. Good to see you again.
Yep.
It's always a
nice to be
pleasure.
here, yeah.
Welcome to Spice FM. Welcome to the Spice Drive. It's a beautiful afternoon, and of course, with you here, it's going to be even better.
Thank you. Wow, you're so nice.
And you've got your team here with you. I know you've got a surprise a little bit later on. We'll get into that in a bit.
So I don't spoil anything.
No,
Okay.
people have to stick around. You've got to stick around. We're broadcasting from Nairobi on 94.4 and, of course, around the world on spicefm.co.ke. Shout out to my Mombasa people on 87.9, Kisumu 102.5, and Nyeri 90.9, Malindi 97.6, and Nakuru 96.0. And yes, if you want to call in, my lines are open 0719 012 600. You know, the biggest greeting for the next couple of weeks is going to be Happy New Year. Everyone is Happy New Year. I'm just like, yeah. How has your 2020 started off, Karun?
Slow, but I'm like good things are lined up, so I'm
Yes.
just like waiting to do them.
Yeah.
Like next weekend I'll be in Canada and I'm going on a UK trip. I'm gonna be in
Fantastic.
Germany, all just doing music stuff.
I love that.
Yeah.
Doing all the things that you love. You started off, as a singer and a songwriter, looking at your new projects. That's where my heart is. That's where I'm focused. And I can see the phone lines are buzzing. But first, I just want to ask Miss Karun one thing. If you weren't doing your music, what else would you be doing? Because you're one of the few young people who are actually doing the things that they love. You're touring
true.
and, walking in your truth and doing, the stuff that you love. And you're blessed enough to do it. Do you know that there's some people who are probably thinking, it's probably hard. It's difficult.
It's
How can
definitely
I
hard.
do it?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you just I don't know. I can't imagine a life where I didn't choose to follow what I love.
Yeah.
So I just feel like if you want to do music and something is stopping you, I feel like you should at least give it a try.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause you only got one life to live.
I know. There's something about 2020 when it started. I just felt like, you know what, this is the year of getting it. If you are not doing the things that you love, then what else are you here for? There's always another morning and another opportunity to do exactly that. You've got a legion of fans on your
legion.
social legion.
That's nice. I like that.
You've got a legion of fans on social media, always rooting for you. When I posted this up, everyone was like, really, really? I said, yeah, she's going to be here. And of course, you are on Instagram and you're on Twitter.
Yeah.
Your Twitter handles,
Hit
please.
me up. I'm also on Facebook. So Instagram is karun.i.verse, Karuniverse, because it's my world.
Yes.
Twitter, I'm on Karen Music.
I love
And
that.
Facebook is Karen Music Official, so you can find me everywhere.
I love the way you say it's my world, and
It is.
you're being humble about the legion of fans. I mean, if you've got your universe, how about a legion of fans? That's the coolest thing about it. How has social media enabled you to tap into otherwise what is called alternative music? When it comes to commercial success on the Kenyan music scene or on the continental music scene, some people would actually just do what is the norm just to get a little bit of airplay and
The norm or what's popping?
what's popping,
Yeah.
the trend, the wave.
Yeah.
Your music is very different. You stand out from most singers that I've listened to. Has social media enabled you to get
Definitely. I feel like there's a
recognized?
lot of different kinds of music fans out there, and there's
Yeah.
people always looking for R&B, alternative music, just
Yes.
new wave stuff. Kenyans are very cool people, so they have great taste. They just don't know where to find the cool stuff. So the internet definitely helps, and also it helps you as an artist. It helps you know that there are people that are thinking like you and that actually like the stuff that you like. And I realized that my fans are, some of them are like me and some of them are really not like me, but it's made me realize how diverse we actually are as Kenyan people, and it's dope.
yeah. And there's a beauty in all that. I'm looking at the timeline here. There's a couple of shout outs already.
Hello. What's
Shout out
up?
to Tito. You're on the timeline here. Ali Mamdin, you're tuned in as well. And Mike, you are a true fan. And of course, you're saying thank you for that R. Kelly. Thank God it's
Hey.
Friday. I've got the treadmill topic coming up in a bit. And of course, I am hanging out with the beautiful, the talented Karun. She is in the studio right about now. Yes, you can stream and you can watch the interview on spicefm.co.ke. Before we cross over to the next hour, the evolution of Karun is right there in front of your eyes. And today we're going to be experiencing a little bit of a performance. We should be charging top dollar for this, by the way. But you get all access on your favorite station, Spice FM. Make sure everybody's listening. And yes, you can call in 07190120600. Starting out, I'm sure you had musical influences from R&B to pop to hip hop. I had a debate with someone talking about how, as Africans, we were never influenced by R&B, and I just found that really. I was just like, that's ridiculous because as soon as we had FM, if you were growing up in the 90s and the early 2000s, the late 80s, everybody was jumping on the Commodores and Whitney Houston and anything that they could.
Whitney Houston, isn't that R&B?
A lot of that, yeah.
Yeah.
So, who would you say is your biggest influence when it comes to your sound?
When I was growing up, I had a Sierra CD.
Yes.
I had India Ari. She heavily influenced me. Justin Timberlake. No, who else was there? There's definitely Rihanna in there. You have to throw Rihanna in there.
Yes.
So those would definitely be my biggest influences. And then I dived into the alternative world, and there was a lot of other people. But those were like when I was a teen and I was the most vulnerable and most influenced. Those were the ones.
I like that. And you mentioned Justin Timberlake. That's going to take us to the top of the hour. And of course, we're going to be having a nice chat with Karun, talking 2020. And of course, your tour, you lightly mentioned about that. We're going to be getting into it. So make sure you are streaming on spicefm.co.ke. I'm going to be live on my Instagram. Yes, I teased. We're going to be having a performance. You want to stick around for that. That's how we get the weekend started. But also, I've got today's trend mill topic. And it's a very simple one. Yesterday, y'all were just too much, but today it's something a couple of people would say they've experienced, and it's love at first sight. Do you believe in love at first sight? Miss Karun, what do you think about love at first sight?
I actually do believe in love at first sight.
You think it's an actual thing?
When you meet somebody, you can know. Yeah, you can.
Wow.
Doesn't always have to be like that, but you can.
Let's talk about your tour.
I guess it's a whole ass tour at this point. Sorry. I'm going to Canada next weekend. That's actually for a speaking gig at the University of British Columbia.
Nice.
And then I'll be going to the UK to do a show in London, a show in Liverpool, a show in Manchester. So if you know any people out there that would like to see me, tell them to come through.
Please, if you're listening all the way, make sure you head down there. Your live performances are well curated. I mean, talking about even, your music videos are, just a work of art.
Oh, thanks.
I mean, they stand alone. I mean, I could mute the thing and still watch.
Right. Interesting.
How important is that for a creative artist to show yourself way more than just the music?
I think it depends on who you are. But for me, I love live music. I love playing with instrumentalists because they add their own creativity to it. And then playing with just a playback on stage feels a bit frigid, and I feel like I can't really deviate from the way the song is, and the joy of singing is to be spontaneous. So like my band, we only rehearsed once before doing Blankets and Wine 2 weekends ago.
Yes.
And I wasn't even worried at all. They're amazing musicians, so I was like, let's just do this thing.
Yeah.
And we had fun, and I think the audience had fun because we had so much fun.
I mean, there were great reviews. I couldn't make it, but there were great reviews, and on social media, it was it was a buzz with your performances, and you keep growing and evolving. Your songwriting is also a key factor in why people love you, I guess. Everything is well put together. Talk to us about what you write about and what inspires you to write the songs that you write. And which one would you say is your favorite yet? It may be a difficult question for many artists, but maybe you do have your favorite one.
Damn, I think my favorite song that I've written isn't out yet.
Yes.
It's a song called Incredible.
Yeah.
It's got imagery of just like being on the ocean. It's got a super dope collab that I think people would be really excited about, and it's coming out on my EP soon, probably in the next couple of weeks, to be honest, so people can look out for that.
This is exciting. I mean, you're like literally an onion. There's layers
I'm
and
an
layers.
onion.
You're an onion, layers and layers. When I thought, okay, it's going to be a tour, and now there's more. There's going to be an EP out.
Yeah. This tour is going to be supporting my music, so yeah, I'll also be in Germany, I'll also be in Japan, I'll be in the States. So I just want to also, when I'm there, write more music because
that's
year,
where
I just want to put out hella music.
Yeah, and I think for you, you come off, especially on your Instagram, as a a traveler and an explorer.
I would love to travel all the time. Yeah.
So, do you think that contributes to what you write about? And
No, not really.
Does it inspire you to? Does it inspire you to write?
Traveling inspires me to write, yes. But my music is like of the world, so I kind of have to travel. I can't just stay here in Kenya where it's not. I feel like Kenyans appreciate a certain level of the music, but I went to school in Boston and in California, and I did some shows in New York and in Seattle, and in every different place that I go, people feel like I'm from there, and they appreciate my music in a different way. So it feeds me to travel and feel different energies.
Yeah, and I love that you're not locking yourself into, one space and, geographically speaking, one country, thinking this is the kind of sound I want to do. This is what's in right now, because a lot of young artists do that, and that trend has been there for years. People go with the wave that's on. There was a time when it was all about South African house, and then you find an artist, creating that. It may not necessarily be what they're about, but they create that to fit that niche at the time.
But you can tell when someone's doing something that's not completely them.
Yeah.
You can tell. It's like it can be good, but there's some soul missing, some depth.
Some depth and soul.
Yeah. So until I'm 50, I don't think I'm ever going to do something just to be cool for the moment or just to be marketable.
Yeah.
I have too much time while I'm still creative to just be myself.
Yeah, to just lock yourself in one space. I like that. And, over the years, you've given us different versions of you, and I absolutely love it. On my way to work today, I was listening to your song, Hit Me Up, and I think it's beautiful. I think it's
I was
amazing.
in traffic hearing someone blasting Hit Me Up, and I was like, who is this? I even tweeted about it. It was you.
That was me. Super fan, vocals, everything, production. It's 100%.
Shout out to Ukweli. He did a good job on that.
Yes.
Song.
Are you particular about who you work with?
Definitely.
Do you have your favorites on the continent?
My favorites.
Producers.
I mean, definitely Blinky.
Yes.
And also Teleman is really good. He's a really good producer, and he did the remix of Roses.
Yes.
But I don't know if it's about favorites. I just want to discover new people every day.
But so far from the producers that you've worked with,
they're my favorite in Kenya so far. That's why them two, they're the only producers on this next EP, and Jazz did one song, Jazz Odongo.
Yes.
But that was very purposeful, because the producers you work with, they dictate the sound.
Yes.
And they also bring out a different side of me. I feed off of their beats, and so my songwriting and my entire vibe is also...
they have a lot to do with it.
Yeah, for sure.
That could go wrong.
Don't
that could go
producers
wrong.
So much credit.
Yeah,
like it's important.
It's crazy. I think I was listening to a producer talk about he's this close to putting his number on an intro of a song, because producers don't get enough credit anymore.
His number.
It's like they
call me on 07.
I know, it's crazy because no one talks about behind the scenes what it takes to make a great record.
In most industries they get paid what they're owed. So in Kenya, where there's no like MCSK and all that drama, like producers are not protected, so it's kind of a dog-eat-dog world for them right now. But in an ideal world, they don't have to be the face. They don't have to be known like DJ Khaled in order to make money.
And also, like the producers that you've mentioned, from Blinky to Jazz, there's they know what they're doing and they love what they're doing, and they never really quite conform over the years. They've been going against the grain to just do good music from the heart, music that they feel. Apparently, they're also very selective with the artists that they work with, and you're one of them, and that's a good thing. When it comes to the Kenyan music scene, there's been ongoing debates about, the gengetone sound, if I can say that. I had to pause there for a minute. So I had a conversation with a friend of mine called Steve. Shout out to Steve. And the debate was about what makes a true artist last longer than others. What makes a true artist, and what's the definition of a true artist? Because we know there was a time when it was all about crunk. There was a time when it was all about that R&B singing style, and then we had reggaeton, and we had this and we had that. But there's been artists that have stood the test of time. In your opinion, what do you think is the ingredient? What's that thing that some of these artists have that other artists wouldn't have?
You know what? Because there's some people like Kanye West who loves himself so much. He never ever thinks that he's made a wrong move. He doesn't doubt himself one bit. And that's one thing that keeps him going. But he also has a business mind. So being business minded can keep you going for a long time.
Yeah.
And then there's other artists like Rihanna. I don't know. I feel like it's hard work.
Yeah.
Hard work. I don't think people even see the hard work that goes into being that caliber of an artist.
Yeah.
Because it's hard and you have to love what you do in order to keep going past the hard-ish that happens.
Yes.
Because like people ask me, like, they're like, is it hard and how do you keep going? And I'm like, dude, if this wasn't the only thing that I dream about, I don't think I would have stayed
Yes.
the path, because some crazy stuff happens along the way.
Do you ever look back and think, okay, maybe there's a couple of moves I shouldn't have made. Maybe that would have changed the trajectory of my career. Or do you actually feel like everything has gone according to plan as an artist? On this continent, everything is just winging it. It's like how you get it as you go. You get it as you go.
Everyone is winging it.
Exactly. And bless you if you have a team of people surrounding you and, positively challenging you. And they've been there every step of the way. And sometimes, they fall off and sometimes they don't.
Yeah. I think
Any regrets on your journey?
No. Even when I've fallen flat on my face and made mistakes very publicly, I feel like I had to learn that lesson at the right time. And looking back, honestly, I have strategically made moves at every point in my career, even up until this date. And so I don't think I've ever really made that big of a mistake. Like, it's crazy because when Kamula broke up, I was like, okay, let me release my own project so that I get my sound out there and then go and study more music when I go to the States. And me going to study music to some people is like, oh, she's fallen off, she's not relevant anymore. And I'm like, but that was the plan. Hold on, don't worry. I'll finish with school, come back, craft a new sound, make some new music, and then get some management. I don't know. Like, I have been super strategic, and so I haven't failed. People think that because Kamula didn't work out, that was a failure, but the industry wasn't set up in a way that I think was ready for what Kamula was, and that made everybody super unhappy. So we chose to step back. Like, everything has been super strategic. Yeah, so I'm just looking forward to what's going to happen.
You just took me back a couple of years ago, and whenever I look at how you've taken charge, it's very visible on this end. You're probably doing your thing in the studio. You book your shows. You're very intentional about what you're doing, the songwriting, the image that you're portraying out there, from your looks to everything. It's clear on this end that you're in charge. Do you think more young female artists need to get on board and stop letting people do things for them and say, listen, this is how I would like this to be? And that's why we get a lot of artists looking and sounding the same year in, year out.
Yeah.
I started off this interview with a huge compliment. You stand out. You're different. And maybe that's a huge part of why, you're talking about how intentional and deliberate you are in terms of when you're going on tour, how you want to do it, when to step back, when to take a break. It's showing through.
Thanks.
Any collaborations, people that you feel are like-minded that you look to work with in future or you've already worked with? Do you want to name drop a couple of people?
Oh, damn. This year and this new project has been about not collaborating, because I feel like a lot of my biggest songs have been songs with other people. I've collaborated with Blinky Bill, with Octopizzo, with Teleman from South Africa, who's going to be huge. If you haven't heard him, he's huge. But like this year, I just want it to be about me, because I want you to be able to name hit songs that I've done, and it's just me. Because there was a time when all my biggest songs were features, and I didn't really like that. I was like, I have to come back to being me and show what I can do.